Yo, what's the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal? What's going on, beautiful people? Peace and love. Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. Happy Tuesday. Tenacious and Truthful Tuesday. We are here. Another episode of SRDaily. The final episode of SRDaily. I'm your boy, your host, LaShawn Sugary Marston, man. You are tuned in. SRDaily episode 700 with personality meets enlightenment. We are back one more time. We got my mama in the audience. Of course, we got the Echoes crew. We got my fiance, Bay Love Moskiana. We got my brother, sacred disciple, Javon. We got my childhood friend, man, known as guy about 35, 36 years, man. I'm in David Earl. Got my brother, my beloved Razor, Raymond Kelsey, man. We are here. We got all of the people tuning in online, man. We live on TikTok. We're live on Facebook. And we are live on YouTube. This is the 700th and final episode. Whew, man, what a journey. Even this morning was tough. Some things was forgotten. Things was left, man. They say that anything great you dare to do, there's going to be challenges on the road, right? And so I'm up for the challenges, man. Grateful for the wherewithal, grateful for the emotional support, grateful for the love, man, to endure, to survive, to keep pushing, keep going. And so this show is a little different, all right? Normally, for about 700 episodes, we've had notes, man. We can throw the note cards away, man, and we're going to talk a little bit today, man, about some real life stuff. We're going to do a tribute to two giants that we lost recently here in New York City, man, that really impacted the world. And we're just going to talk about the process and the journey of becoming, of doing the thing that is outside of your norm, doing the thing that is outside of the norm of what people around you may be doing. All right, we're going to talk about overcoming challenges, man, and reminding myself even, that anytime we set out to do something, all right, the vision is important. The destination is absolutely important, where you're going, but it's the journey that makes you who you are. It's the journey that fortifies you. It's the journey that strengthens you. It's the journey that refines you, right? Essentially, it's the journey that defines you, because no matter where you want to go, there's going to be challenges. And if you do not persist, if you do not exhibit a level of resilience, you're not going to get there. All right, things are going to be tough, man. To get to these 700 episodes, there were a lot of, I've cried on the show in front of you guys, right? I've cried, real tears, right? I've had to stop the show early because I was so emotional, dealing with losses, dealing with shifts in family dynamics, dealing with pain, emotional pain, mental anguish, physical pain sometimes even, right? Fractured ankle and all types of things, man. But it is... consistency is not doing the same exact thing the same exact way all the time. It is just persistent, even though it's ups and downs, right? One of the 4 agreements is to always do your best. And I've learned that your best when you are 100% and when all your limbs are working and all your loved ones are alive and healthy is different than when somebody may be ill. Somebody may not be feeling well, when you may be injured, or you may be dealing with some housing issues, or whatever the case may be, right? Your best fluctuates from day to day based on what's going on in your life. And so if you got 10%, do that 10%. If you got 50%, do it, right? You're not always going to do 100%, but this is the key, and this is the wisdom, is that if you got 10% and you do 10%, you've done 100% of that 10%. So just always do your best. And that's something that I've learned young. It's something that I strive to practice and embody every single day of my life. All right, some days I'm on 120, I'm on 150, and I love to be there, right? But some days I'm on 20%. Some days I'm on 5. I've been with Echoes, and I've been at a 1 when we do a check-in, right? Like, things are just effed up and things are jacked up. But I know that as long as I don't give up, right? As long as I survive another day, as long as I endure the night and survive the darkness, eventually the sun will come up again, and I'm going to be back in great spirits, and things are going to be well, even if they're not, all right? Perception is everything. And so, yeah, man, today is a great day. Man, I'm emotional now, right? Like, this is something I've always wanted to do, right? My mother would tell you, my aunt would tell you, man, many people in my family would tell you, I've been talking since forever. Since I could talk, I've been talking and I never stopped. My friend David could tell you, he's, I think, first grade together when we met, right? I've been talking as long as I could talk, and I've never stopped talking. Even getting in trouble, I was talking back, right? Like, what you gonna do? And so, I've always wanted to host my talk show, right? Growing up, watching Oprah, growing up, watching Ricky Lake, growing up, watching Geraldo, watching Montel Williams. I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to get paid to talk, right? They told me you talk a lot, but I'm like, well, I can get paid to talk, right? Because they get paid to talk. Why can't I get paid to talk? And for a long time, I would start interviews, I would start lives, I would start and stop, start and stop, start and stop. But at some point in 2023, right, I got to attribute Anthony Trucks, former NFL player, coach, speaker, worry now, for the wisdom. He said that he challenged himself to do 5 videos over 5 days for 5 minutes, at least 5 minutes, right? He said that's how he wanted to build consistency. 5 videos, 5 days, 5 minutes or less. If you know me, you know I got a competitive spirit. I was like, well, he did 5, I could do 7, right? So let me do 7 days. And I did 7 days. I did a video every day, and the video was 7 minutes or less. It was great. I did it. I felt accomplished. But what happened was the lives, I wasn't doing them on a consistent time, right? I was doing it like 10 in the morning. I do it at 8 at night. I do it at 11:30 before I go to bed. And it was like, okay, I was getting it done. But when those 7 days were done, I was like, okay, what's the next level of this? The next level is to find a time where I can do consistent. And so meditated, reflected, and I was like, you know what? We're going to create the show SRDaily. We're going to do it every morning, 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. because regardless of what's going on after that, right? If I got court, if I got to be over here or do over this, that's normally after 10, right? So I'm like, cool. If I could do 9 o'clock to 9:30 for 5 days, 7 days, 14 days, 20 days, then I could build something. And here we are, man. It's 141 weeks. Like 141 weeks of consistent freaking discipline and dedication and expression, right? 141 weeks, 700 episodes today. And I promise you that I feel today as I felt then. Like, I feel accomplished, I feel strong, and I feel like I'm ready for what's next. I don't know what just happened. TikTok is the worst. TikTok be throwing me off live. I ain't even say nothing. Did I say something? TikTok banned me for talking about what was I talking about when they flagged me that time? I was talking about suicide. Not that I wanted to hurt myself, right? But I was talking about a time when I did contemplate hurting myself, and other people hurt themselves, and they flagged me and said they sent me a note. If I need help, call somebody. And I'm like, cool, that's glad that y'all do that, but y'all ban me for that. Look, they keep TikTok ain't working. It ain't working for me. But it's all good, right? Technical difficulties happen, and there's nothing we can do about it, but try to get it done. Just keep going, right? This is part of what I'm talking about, is that when you set out to do something, challenges are going to arise, and all you could do is what you could do, right? You can't do more than what you could do. I'm gonna try one more time on this TikTok.
If you're also looking for a New York City,
TikTok's not working. We off TikTok. It's all good. We on Facebook and YouTube. So we do got a special guest today, right? And I'm gonna call him up in a little bit. My brother Javon Lomax, aka Sacred Disciple. One of my favorite brothers, one of my favorite people, right? But before we bring him up to talk about legacy, to talk about passion and purpose and navigating this human body, this human realm with a spiritual focus and a spiritual intent, I do want to honor two of our hello. What's going on, ladies? How y'all doing? Welcome. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming on in. Go ahead. Handle your business. But yeah, so I want to, I don't know how to do this, right? I want to, I guess, tribute 2 giants that we lost recently. One, Urilla Cave. Kimona and I was at her service yesterday, a funeral, and then a repast. Urilla was 47 years young, absolute phenom. She was a photographer. She was an all-around artist, all-around dope girl. She was a mother, daughter, friend, cousin. Somebody posted that she was everybody's homegirl. I met Urilla in 2024, so not too long ago. And I met her because so she has this thing that she does where she goes around Brooklyn and she documents different events, specifically highlighting Black men, right? Like capturing us in incredible light. And in 2024, I went to the Spike Lee Do the Right Thing block party. And we got rained out, right? Well, we didn't get rained out, but it started raining, and a lot of us stayed, right? And I stayed, and I was talking my junk and just talking to everybody, and it was a great day. And the next day, my boy tagged me on a post on Instagram, and it was a video, right? And I was in a video, and it was a dope video. It was summer rain music was playing right there. The Carl Thomas in the background, and it was these black men. It was black men. It was fucking incredible. And I commented on the video, and I was like, yo, this is dope. And then the person who created the video, Urilla, jumped in my inbox. It was like, yo, this shit is fly, right? And I was like, yeah. And, she was super excited. She's like, yo, this video got 25,000 views on TikTok. Like, it's going up. And I was like, yo, that's dope. You're very talented. And that was the start of a friendship. And over the next year and a half, 2 years, pretty much, we just built a great bond, man. I didn't see her much in person. I think I seen her twice in person. Mona and I went to pick up her cookbook. She dropped a cookbook, Shoot, Taste, Explore. Yeah, man. She was, somebody said yesterday, she was the female version of Gordon Parks, right? The way she documented Brooklyn. One of the business owners yesterday said, yo, she put us on, right? She would go to different businesses in Brooklyn and create reels and do things like that. She had a thing that was called Reels by Rilla, right? And she was talented. And Raymond, I don't know if you remember in 2016 when I created the Black Men Working podcast, and I was interviewing black men about, what kind of work do you do? Why do you do it? Some pros and cons. One of the reasons I stopped that project, so it was a podcast, and then it was a video and a visual thing that was posted on social media. I stopped because I didn't have the technical skills to document the way I wanted to document. I'm like, I got the vision. I got enough skills to take a photo, to shoot a video, to do basic editing, but I'm like, the vision I have, I need a different creator. And so I put it on the back burner for a long time. When I saw Urilla's work and I got to speak to her, I was like, she is the perfect person to bring this project back into fruition and take it to the next level. And we never got a chance to do that, right? But we had some back and forths on the Instagram and in the DM. She was very, very firm, and she reminded me kind of Kimona, right? Like very motherly, right? Like I got my opinions, I got my suggestions, and you should just do them because they're the right thing to do, right? And it's like, no, sister, I'm not doing that, right? She's like, but if you don't do it, this is like, sister, I got this. I'm doing it this way, and it was just a beautiful relationship. And to see how many people showed up for her yesterday. The funeral one was jam packed. The repast was at Mokata, right? The Museum of African and I think it's Diasporic Art, right? Museum of African and Diasporic Art in Brooklyn. Packed, jam packed. So many people had so many incredible things to say about her. Her daughter spoke highly of her. We actually got to hear one of the last voice notes, right, that she shared with her daughter. And it was just so powerful because in it was like a piece. She was like, where I go after this is I'm here, right? I'm here, and it's okay. It's okay, and I've come to terms with what's becoming of me, and that was just beautiful to hear. It was beautiful to see her slideshow, see photos of her when she was a little girl, right? Just photos of her at different iterations of her life. And again, just to hear so many people speak so highly of her and how, regardless of the duration of how long someone knew her, everybody pretty much said the same thing, right? She was talented, she was creative, she was determined, and she fucking loved Brooklyn, right? And one thing that I think really stood out for me was that love of Brooklyn. Like the way she loved Brooklyn is the way I love Queensbridge, right? And I personally, I guess I don't like when people are from a neighborhood, they take from a neighborhood, but then they say F that neighborhood and they want to go somewhere else. And it's like, cool, you move on, right? There's nothing wrong with that, moving on and taking your talents up other places, right? Like LeBron did. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But I think it's something really special about pouring into the same neighborhood you grew up in, right? And staying committed to the people of that neighborhood, even when things aren't always pretty, even when things don't always feel good, even when that community may not always support you the way you need to. That community still, in large part, made you who you are. And so I think that's really, really when I think about it, what I love the most about her was that she poured into Brooklyn. She created a brand, Everyday BK, right? She had socks, right? She got freaking coffee mugs with Crown Heights on it, right? Everyday BK. Like, that's dope, man. Like, that's dope to take pride in where you come from, to take pride in the community that helped raise you. And so I want to definitely shout out and tribute Urilla Cave. If you guys are into cooking, definitely get her cookbook. Check it out. Shoot, Taste, Explore. Super dope. We got a copy in the house. Check out the Everyday BK website, everydaybk.tv. Super dope. Again, I'm inspired by it. Maybe you can draw some inspiration from it as well. And the second person I want to tribute, who I've known a lot longer, who is absolutely responsible for the man I am today. I haven't been able to talk about him yet really publicly. Haven't been able to post about him in the past tense on social media or anything like that. But my brother, Robert Harvey. This center that we're in wouldn't be what it is without Harvey, right? Late 80s, early 90s, Harvey had the first computer program here. He had the first photography program here. Harvey was a giant, man. Harvey, Raymond, no. Right? My mother knows there were times when I was going through some tough things. I was going through my divorce and just other tough things I was going through. It was either Raymond's crib or it was Harvey's crib I was at to the wee hours of the morning, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, right? Sometime I come on the block and I shout out Harvey, call him to the window. He'll come to the window, look, he'll come down, and we'll talk, man. It was crazy because, like, I know I could talk. I could talk a long time. Harvey could freaking talk. Harvey talks so I'm like, Harvey, I gotta go, bro. Like, bro, we've been talking for 8 hours. Like, it's time to do something different, right? But there was a testament of, one, he only talked to you if he cared about you, right? There was a lot of people he didn't spend that much time talking to. 2, he had a lot to share. Like, Harvey was one of the most intelligent people I've ever known. He was very well read, very well spoken, right? He wrote a book, right? He started writing a trilogy, Leaving the Homie. Harvey taught me about Benin, right? Harvey taught me more about Africa than I've known, right? Because of Harvey, I got to know Kimani Dinizulu. Kimani Dinizulu was a world-renowned drummer from Africa, from Ghana, lived here in Queensbridge for a little while. His mother, Alice Dinizulu, was part of she worked with the Sada Defora, and they were the first people to bring West African dance to America, right? I think in the 30s and 40s, right? Because of Harvey, and then because of knowing Dinizulu, I learned that the African Day Parade started in Queensbridge Park, right? Which what we call here River Park. A lot of people don't know that, right? Because of Harvey, man, because of Harvey, I would like to say that I'm free and I'm alive. Because if not for Harvey, if not for Brother Ray, those times when I was going through some difficult times and uncertain about income and family and living situation, if not for those people, I might have done something a little different, right? Might have made a different decision. And so that's a testament of community. That's a testament to brotherhood. That's a testament to having an elder, right, who loves you and cares about you and makes time for you and space for you and is willing to listen to you. And one of the other things I loved about Harvey was that I would talk and I would be venting and I would ask him, Harvey, so what do you think I should do? And he'd just sit there. A lot of people don't know Harvey smoked weed, right? We would sit and smoke weed. And he'll have his joint. We'll have my joint. And he's like, Harvey, first you got to pass the blunt, right? Like, you smoking too much, brother. Puff, puff, pass, not puff, puff, hold, right? But he would sit there with the joint in his mouth. He would sit back in his chair. He'd be like, you know what to do. You got all the answers in you, Sugar Ray. There's nothing I could say, right? And I was just like, I would be mad at times. And I'm like, yo, like, give me something. But as time went on, I realized what he was doing. He was giving me space to speak and then to find my own answers, which is, I'd like to think, something that we do in all kings, right? Is no saving, right? Let the brother speak and then find within himself the direction to go in, right? The path to take forward. Yeah, man, Harvey, up until his transition, 82 years old, just a few months prior, he transitioned June 23rd this year. In March, at least I know, he was still running across the bridge twice a week, across the Queensboro Bridge, 82 years old. Still running across the bridge twice a week, 2-3 times a week, right? Harvey was at everything. He was at the birthday parties. Harvey was at yeah, Harvey, man, is so much to say that I'm getting caught up in my words. All right, but thank you, Harvey, for your guidance, for your wisdom, for your mentorship. And I guess lastly, I want to say about Harvey was another one of the dopest things I loved about him, or I respected about him, was that 40-year difference. He called me his mentor, right? Like he said, "You are my mentor," and that again, a testament to his humility, right? A testament to his willingness to, or his ability to show reverence to someone younger than him, where in my experience, that hasn't always been the case. Right? Somebody older has always like, yo, I got the answers. I'm older. You should listen to me. Harvey's like, nah, like listen to yourself. Right? We here together, and yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So this is hard, man. This is like 700. All right, and it's like so much went into this show, so much went into this day, so much went into this moment, so much went into this life, and I'm just like, I'm a bit nervous for what's next, right? I feel a bit unsure about what's next. And even though I'm a bit nervous and I'm a bit unsure, I'm absolutely ready for what's next, whatever it is, right? I know that in me, I have the strength, the stamina, the endurance to press on. And I know that I have the community around me to support me no matter what happens, no matter what's going on. I have community super close, right? Fiance, mom, brother, right? And then going beyond, we got Echoes, we got Javon, we got David. I know I can reach out to at any time, right? We got my man Jesse Jones. I don't know where he went. Jesse went somewhere. But family, community is super important. And so, without further ado, we do have a special guest today, man. We're gonna come up and have a conversation on a few things, man. One of my favorite people who I just met just a year ago, right? Last year, August. And what's so dope about this brother is that the same. I know who I am. I know that I'm great. I know that I'm strong. I know that I'm powerful. I know what my destiny is. And I met a few people who know who they are, all right? And walk with that knowing, right? Is one thing to, I think, to know who you are and to actually walk with that and let other people know, like, this is who I am. This is what I'm here for. Like, this is my mission. This is my journey. I've met too many people who play small, right? They got big roles, big dreams, but they play it small. Like, oh, I'm just trying to get by. I'm just, it ain't no big deal. Like, nah, I like people who like, yo, this is a big deal, right? What I'm doing is a big deal. This project, although it may be small, is monumental in impact, right? And so this brother who we about to bring up, Javon Lomax, aka Sacred Disciple, is a reflection of me. I like to say that he is a better man than me because the things that I've witnessed him do, some of the things that we've spoken about and that I've heard him talk about enduring and persisting through, it's like that couldn't be me. Not because I wouldn't want to, but because I don't think I could, right? And so, Javon, please come up and join me on the stage, brother. We got a seat for you right here, my beloved brother. Come, let's have a discussion. Please, appreciate you, man. So, yes, sir. Yep. Oh, you need him to put this on, or keep it right here? Keep it right there. Yeah. Brother, thank you for being here.
Glad to be here, man.
You made a trek to get here.
I did. Came from Jersey. But I remember when I first came here and you was feeding the community.
Yeah.
And giving out fruit, and I was parking, and I was like, oh, that was the spot right there.
Yeah.
We gave fruit to the community. It's beautiful. It's special to be here.
Yeah. Thank you for being here. You had to do some things to get here early on time, right? Move some things around. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
So I want to get right into it. Javon Lomax, when I met you, you was Prophet of Love. Transition, transform, Sacred Disciple. What was Prophet of Love? Who was Prophet of Love? And now who is Sacred Disciple, and why the transition?
Well, first I want to give some context. So this organization called All Kings that I had the opportunity to be a part of on July 2024. There's a part of this journey, it's like a rites of passage journey where I went through, what you went through. And we can't speak about it because only those who go through it know. But at the end of it, depending on that journey, what came up for you, the stuff that you spoke about, they give you a name.
Mhm.
And the person who was like my guide in that journey gave me the name, the Prophet of Love, because I had named Jesus, Malcolm X, and Assata Shakur
Fire.
as three people that I just admired their walk. Kind of like how you say, you know, people who know who they are. And so yeah, the Prophet of Love. He offered me that name. I could have rejected it, but for me, in that time, I was just like, heck yeah, man, I'm the Prophet of Love.
Yeah.
But there was a part of the journey of that being that love, and I won't lie, I do identify with that. Every day I think like when I wake up and I go out in the world, I'm thinking about how can I walk with intention and just love everyone who I come in. How can I like be an example, a model of love to the person that sits by me on the bus, to the person that I walk, by on the street? Like, how do I not ignore any of these souls? How do I value everybody's humanity? But there was a part of that where it was imbalance, and I was giving so much love and not really looking for the reciprocity of it. There was relationships that I was pouring so much love and it wasn't being met back. And there was a part, I think, even in the Jesus story, where I felt like my life had to be me dying on the cross, sacrifice. That was what life on this earth should be. And I just crossed the threshold where I said, nah, man, I deserve the love that I give out.
Sure.
I deserve the grace that I give out.
Sure.
I want relationships that pour into me the same way I pour into them. And so reanalyzing that, I was like, well, what name can I give myself? What name is aligned with this mission? So one thing is I say a sacred affirmation every morning. I am sacred. I am part of the sacred we of the universe. I go through this whole affirmation like every single one. I've been saying it for like years. And the other part was like a disciple. I'm very disciplined. Another affirmation I say is discipline over desire. And so the sacred disciple, and the other part of that was who found balance.
Yes,
so it's the sacred disciple who found balance, because now I realize how I can serve the people, serve myself, be that person that's in the community that's giving and feeding and giving out love, but then also I want my daughters to get that representation as well. He's also the father that comes home, puts his bag down, and they like, spin me around. Absolutely. And I'm tired. I want to lay down. I want to kind of like decompress all that. But right now, what's more important? Spinning my baby girl around. To me, that's just as important as leading that circle with 100 people in it.
Sure.
And so spin me around, Dad, and I'm going to spin you around. And do it again. Kids never get enough. Do it again. And I'm going to spin them around. Because in that moment, that is the most important thing that I can be.
Sure.
And so I want to be that for my partner. I want to be that for my kids. I want to be that for the person that's just sitting on my stoop outside my house every time. And I want to be that in the world and in my mission. So the sacred disciple who found balance just kind of encompasses all of that. Yeah, man.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Listen, I witnessed you do something that me and Ray did to a small degree, but I got goosebumps. Like, as I'm thinking about it, we were in Harlem a few weeks ago, right? You told me about a project you wanted to do. You wanted to go in the subway. You want to go in Harlem, 120 Lexington, which is, I heard somebody say recently, that is probably the worst train station, corner, like block, like in the city, right? The houselessness, the abuse, right? Drug abuse, physical abuse that happens on that corner, all of the stuff that happens on that corner, 125th and Lex. We went up there, me, you, and brother Stefan. We set up some chairs.
Yeah.
We had some questions, and we stopped people, right? So that's cool. That's dope. I do stuff like that. I told you then, there were a few people who we stopped and spoke to who I didn't push off, but I also didn't fully embrace. You fully embraced them. Specifically, this one sister. You embraced her. You remembered her birthday. You remember her mother's transition day.
August 15th and August 20th.
August 20th. You hugged her. Where does that level of love come from? Like, we spoke about it, me, you, and Stefan, like, maybe a smell could push us away. Like, oh, I don't want to hug this person, right? Maybe it's the way they're dressed, or like, be honest, that sister, she had some drool coming out of her mouth, right? And I was like, again, I didn't push her away, but I didn't also hug her and fully embrace her.
Yeah.
You did. Where does that come from? Because that's a different level of humanity. That's a different level of love. That, as I say, like I want to have, but I'm not there. You there, and I might respect that. Where does that come from?
Where does that come from? To be honest, where does it come from? I remember I was reading this book. I think the book was A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. And there was a part in the book where it said that those who have the most, disconnection, like the remedy of that is they need the most connection. Those who are perceived as having the most hate in their heart, those are the ones who need the most love. Darkness need the most light. And so for me, another part tied to the name is, when we do All Kings, we come up with a mission. I create a world of what by being what. My mission was I create a world of love and peace through service and kindness, and this part right here, and giving others a sense of belonging that I wasn't given. And so where does it come from? Man, at one point in grade school, I think I was the most bullied, isolated child in my school. Even the kids that were bullied me. Like, I was that kid. And I never forget just having this yearbook, and there was this thing where everybody would just sign the back of your yearbook, write different notes on that last page. And I looked around and I'm seeing all of this happening, and I'm not a part of it because nobody wants to sign my yearbook. I have that vivid, picture of me looking at this blank page and looking up and seeing everybody happy and sign mine, but nobody wants to sign my yearbook. So I know what it's like to have a real pain of you don't belong. No one wants you. And so I guess, for me, when I see the sister with the drool and when her demeanor, all of that, I see someone who I'm sure is used to every day going out and being seen as if they don't belong. I wonder how many brothers and sisters look at this sister and they're like, I'm not giving you no hug. Matter of fact, keep a little distance. If I give you $1, I'm going to set it right here on the ground because I don't even want to touch your hand, or I don't want you to get too close. And I know that pain. And so for me, man, I love the shit out of that sister, man. Come in, man. I'll hug you. Some drill on my shirt. It's cool. I'll wash the shirt. It's nothing that could come on my skin that I can't wash. It's not like, come in. I want to hug you even more because I want to model what does it look like to show that you belong, that everybody belongs. I think about, like, man, how special it was to even get here to this earth. Like, I'm sure, like, they teach us about the sperm and the egg and all this different stuff in that race. But I'm sure, like, when you were the one that was inside of your mother's womb, there was, like, ancestors, and everybody was just like, yes, they made it. They're about to make it into this world. But then somehow you come into this world, humans, and we get this society and other people that tell us that we ain't shit, or that we have to be something other than just here. That we didn't do enough, or we didn't create this, or you don't have this monetary value, whatever it is that makes you start to look at you're not as special as you really are. And so for me, nah, man, she's here for a reason. I want to hug you to remind you. Maybe if I hug you, maybe through that love, maybe when I look in your eyes, you remind the queen that you are. Maybe you are reminded of the purpose why you came here in the first place, that there's work for you to do. And so the amount of whatever you have, been through to even get to this space right here, if you can just cross that threshold, if you can see it, what's on the other side of that door, man, imagine the work that sister could do. Because she could say, I don't look like what I've been through. And she could look at somebody that says, do you know what I used to look like? Do you see, man, I used to have the joy. I used to have all of this, but I went past that door. I want to be somebody that just helps somebody get to the other side of that. And I'm going to live and I'm going to die doing that every day of my life.
Yo, incredible. Yo, y'all don't even understand. before he spoke to her, when I was talking to her, I was like, I don't think she could have, because I didn't invite her to the conversation. I didn't think she could have a full conversation. 3/4 of the way into the conversation with him, she was rapping. She said she used to be a rapper, and she was rapping. She was a rapper.
Yeah, she was spitting.
She was spitting. Yo, that was incredible. Yeah. And again, that's a testament to you and the safe space that you made for her, and the brave space that you made for her by showing your love. And so, if nothing else, that action alone defined for me, you are the prophet of love and the sacred disciple who found balance. Became one, right? So I want to stay on that topic, right? On the topic of love and commitment. You also did something recently, a few months ago, online. That was absolutely powerful. You've done some of those powerful things I've ever seen, brother. I've known you for a year. This is freaking incredible. Like, who are you for real? It's fucking phenomenal. You guys don't understand. Talk to us about the Zoom call. You had a Zoom a few months ago with your father and your son. Can you please frame that for us? What was that about? Why did you do it? Why was it important? And what was the impact? Please talk to us about that whole Zoom thing that you did.
Well, first I want to name, sometimes I say the same thing, like, what the heck am I doing? Like, it's wild. For some time, I have 4 children. I have my 2 sons and my 2 daughters. My 2 sons were born out of, when I was 16, from 16 to 21, I was in and out of jail 8 times, like just back and forth. And it was just a real dark period of my life. And so my sons were born out of a space where I said, I need to create life on this world because I'm not going to be here long. And I need something that's pure, something that's good to be here because I'm going to die the way I'm living. And I knew that. And so my sons were born out of that. They were born to 2 sisters that, right now I'm able to recognize that they were wounded and those relationships passed. And so, and that passing, I walked away from my role and my responsibility as my oldest son's father. For any of the reasons, but none of them mean anything. All of those reasons didn't have any value of the role and the responsibility that I should have been in his life as his father, as the one watching him play baseball, as the one asking him how school is. I should know who his friends are, all of that. And so it took me time to do my work and sit in spaces where I'm in these fatherhood programs and holding spaces for other fathers, and other brothers are in the circle and they talking about how they want to build the relationships with their sons. And I'm like, man, if I don't fix this shit, I am a hypocrite. I just felt that. And so there was a part of me that was just like, I got to fix it. And so I called mom. I was every bitch, deadbeat, whatever words, labels that she needed to call me, I held them all. And then all I said was, and after this, what do I have to do to be in my son's life? Is it a call once a week? Is it, all right, cool. At 3 o'clock, all right, cool. I'm going to call that, And then what else? Oh, now I can get 2, 3 calls. All right, cool. And then it was just like, let me work my way in because I understand I've harmed this woman in so many ways. I've done so much harm to this young man who's my son, and I haven't been in his life, and I needed to own what I can own. One of my biggest things is if you can own your peace, you can own your peace. Right. And so you don't deserve that peace if you can't own the parts that you played in not having it, the disruption of peace for others. And so I wanted to own my peace. And so, yeah, man, I did that work. And then I got to the point where my son was coming in the summer and he was spending with me. And that took a lot of work. Simultaneously, I thought about my father. I was like, man, my father wasn't in my life. What's his story? And I thought about, like, what's the story of his father? What's my father's story? Who gave him the map? I had this thinking that if my father would have gotten the father that he deserved, maybe he would have been the father that I wanted. And so, man, so with all of that, I found my father on Facebook. I went typing his name in, Augustine Julian Sita, Augustine, like everything, because I knew his name. And I found something that said Bronx Life, I think it was like on Facebook. I was like, it was a small picture. I was like, I think that's my dad. So I remember writing him, and I was just like, hey, I believe this is my dad. If your name is this is your son. And I just want to say, no matter what happened in the past, no matter what you haven't been or have been for me, I want to know who you are. And whatever way we can start to have this conversation, I want to have it. And so, the same thing I did with my son, I had to do with my father. One call a week, start to talk more, and I'm building that. But the conversations would surface. I'm asking my dad, like, what's your favorite color? What kind of food you like? Because you got a lot to catch up on.
Absolutely.
And then the wild thought hit me. I heard a voice that said, you were put here to heal this generational trauma. And I knew circles had been transformational for me. So I was like, I'm going to have a Zoom. I'm going to talk to my son who had never met his grandfather. And I said, I'm going to talk to my dad. And I said, would y'all like to sit in a circle with me? I facilitated. And I invited people who I loved and cared for to witness us, have a conversation. And the whole premise of that conversation was, if you would have had the father that you deserved, could you have been the father that your son needed? And so it was called Healing for Our Sons. And the first question I asked my dad was, at 14, because my son was 14, what was the impact of the presence and absence of your father in your life? Then I found out that my father had lost both his mother and his father before he was 25 years old. And so he encouraged this loss, this abandonment. And he's seen his father as like a womanizer. And then I heard my son say, like, yeah, man, my father had this son over here, these children over here. And so I started to be like, whoa, so you just see it trickle down. But it was such a powerful conversation because my son said, I forgive y'all, I just want more time with y'all.
Wow.
And he told my father, his grandfather, that now I know I have a grandfather and I would like to get to know you. We started a group chat immediately after that. My father reached out to the mother of my son and was just like, can I be a grandfather in his life? I want your permission. And it's been beautiful, man. It's been beautiful. Now we speak so much. Incredible. We're planning on going down there to Louisiana to like see him play baseball. Incredible. And it might be something that might be seen as so minute, so small, but for me, I say that that's probably the most important circle I ever sit in. Because I showed my son what vulnerability looks like. How I could tell my father about the incredible trauma that I had endured as a child. And I'm like, man, I blamed you because I said that probably wouldn't have happened if you were there. And how much I loved you and your brilliance and how much I felt robbed of that because you weren't in my life. And so, yeah, man, that happened. And afterwards, I was just like, I woke up like, yo, that really happened.
You did that.
I did that.
You did that.
Yeah.
What was the feeling? What was the feeling looking at on a Zoom your father and your son? If you could describe the feeling and having that conversation, and your son looking at you and you looking at your dad, if you can encapsulate that feeling, the emotions, what was it?
You know what's even crazy that I can't miss out is my mom even
pulled
up.
You said that.
My mom pulled up to the call. I had cousins on the call. For so long, I was separating my life. Like I was compartmentalizing it to where it was like, here's the healing work. Here's the brothers I just chop it up with about this. My family, I'm goofy. I'm saying? My family know me as Butt Naked Jay. And I'm like, and the story is, as a baby, I would run off with the diaper off. I'm just running around the house butt naked. And so they know me as like goofy Butt Naked Jay. Yeah. And there's a part of me that, because that was that identity, that's how they kind of like socialize me. I find myself doing more silly and being goofy when I'm with my family. But they were able to see me in just another way of being, like being vulnerable and kind of holding space, holding some stuff that might have been a little bit hard for my father to say and stuff like that. And then, seeing all of them there, my mom, my family, my father, my son, what was that feeling? Man, complete. I remember the first, like as soon as I woke up, it's funny because I had ended up, there was an event the very next day that was about family, healing and family. And I was just like, well, this is the place I need to be. So I just did something. But I almost felt like I could go now. Like I don't have to do anything else. I'm complete. Like if this was the last thing that I did on earth, if this was the last impact I did, that would be enough. And complete. And last thing I want to share, I think I was telling you this. I was doing one of my morning prayers when I walked around the neighborhood.
4 a.m.
4 a.m. And I heard God say, when your absence becomes more impactful than your presence, it is then I'll take you. And that was one of those moments where I was like, oh shoot, God, am I about to go? Because I was like, I felt like I don't have to do nothing else.
Yeah.
But every morning that I get breath to wake up, my heart's still beating, I could go out and be love in the world. I'm like, all right, I got to make my presence impactful. I got to make every word that I say to somebody, every encounter has to mean something, because God told me when my absence becomes more impactful than my presence, it is then he'll take me. So yeah, every day with real intention.
Real intention. Powerful. Yeah. Powerful. So now that takes us to, right, you spoke about circle, you spoke about healing. Let's talk about the men's work, right? We're both part of All Kings, Brother Ray as well, right? And separately, right, even outside of All Kings, we've been doing this men's work, working on ourselves, working on the men around us, right? Just men striving to be better and help our brothers become better men. Why is that work important to you? Why is the work of Circle with Men, men's healing groups, why is that work important to you? And what's the challenge in that work?
Yeah, I mean, to me, all of this work is important. I want to say all of this work is important. But first of all, the men's work is important. One, because I'm a man, and I see so many men leading men. And I also want to say this. I look to be quiet in spaces. I really don't be want to say nothing. I went to a circle yesterday and I was just like, I'm going to be quiet. I ain't going to say nothing. And then my heart got to beating in a certain question. I was just, I got to say this though. And I get that feeling when I look out in the world. I see a lot of people telling men how they should be in the world. And my heart gets to beating. And there needs to be another lens. There needs to be another perspective. We don't have to operate in this way. We don't have to look at sisters in this way. And I see it being taught by spiritual leaders and all type of people in leadership positions. I remember when I was in church and there was a pastor that used to hold these like men's groups for the brothers in the church. And the pastor was just like, well, man, we all gonna have that lust in us. You could look, get your looks in when she walking by, but just don't look back. And like that was the threshold that he was teaching into the class.
Crazy.
And there was a part of me that was just like, is that really the acceptance that we're gonna have as men? That this is just this thing that we will always be like every sister that walked by us, no matter what, you can't pray it out. You're always gonna have this lust and just don't look back. And for me, that just represented just don't show the outside world what you're dealing with internally. And so for me, I challenge myself with all of that. Like, about my fast that I do of like, because I'm in a committed relationship. And this is going to sound crazy. People be like, yo, what? But I remember I told my spouse, I was just like, we met on July 9th. And I was like, I'm going to drink water and I want to eat one meal on 709 and like dedication to you. Because I want, and I usually eat and I'm like one meal, one woman. And I just want to honor the monogamous relationship, that devotion that I have to the sister. And I had to cut out like so much other stuff that I was pouring in my system, the TV, the music, the different things. I realized that was somebody's outlet, but that don't mean it should be going inside of me. And so, yeah, there was just like in that walk, I realized, man, when I walk outside and I'm around sisters and beautiful sisters, I can see them as a sister. And I don't have to have all these thoughts that I'm not proud of, that I could be in integrity. Like I explain to people, you don't know how good it feels to be in integrity with your thoughts. People just want to be in integrity with their actions. Like, man, how was I when I was in the world? You know how good it feels to be proud of every thought you had? It's amazing. It's amazing. And so many people have given up the idea of thoughts. They like, man, you can't control what thoughts come in your head. And I'm like, man, I don't know. Like I like my pushback against that is like, from the thoughts becomes what you've allowed to come into your system, what you're watching, what you're listening to, the people that you got feeding you. And so when I started to look into that, the thoughts, what I got pouring inside of me, it all ties into, I want to be a model. I want to be a model. I think the last thing I say is, there was 3 pathways that God told me. It said, make space for you to be guided, be the guide, and guide others. And so be guided. Like, you have to sit in rooms, you have to sit in a circle, you have to be humble enough to allow people to be a teacher. And not just people, but like everything. You know, the kids,
The plants,
the animals, the plants, like allow it to be a teacher. You have to be the guide. You have to go through a period where you have to live the teaching, like embody it. You know, it's not just creating a safe space, embody a safe space. Like, how do you like actually walk out and live what you just took in? And then you have a journey where you have to guide others. And so why is men's work important? Why do I do this work? Because men need to be guided.
Sure.
And they need to be guided by men that are actually walking the walk.
Sure.
Yeah.
I say. So let's zoom out real quick, right? We're gonna take this final question. Let's zoom out, scope out. You spoke about fatherhood, you spoke about manhood, you spoke about sons, right? Healing our sons, you spoke about relationships. What do you think is the biggest challenge facing humanity right now? The biggest challenge facing humanity right now, and what can we do about it as a collective society? Black, white, rich, poor, young, old. Biggest challenge, and what can be done about it right now in real time?
To me, and this is just my perspective, but disconnection. When I first started circles, and I'm a words person, and so you probably heard me say this acronym, circle, and the acronym I created for it was circle is realizing connection liberates everyone. Circle is realizing connection liberates everyone.
Sure.
Connection, to me, solves it all. Even when I was in the streets and we was like going in people's cars and thinking about like, what house we want to rob, connection would save somebody's car. Because I'd be like, nah, not that one. That's Anthony Grant's car. Good people's. Like, nah, he looked out for me and gave me that job. And they'd be like, man, come on, man. I'd be like, nah, man, he good. And that was just off of him showing me love when I was just a disconnected youth. So connection allowed me to have compassion in that moment when I was living in a world where I was being the total opposite of that outwardly. So for me, the disconnection, the impact of that when we walk out and we disregard people. I was in a circle yesterday night and we were talking about, what is the impact of like living out of a space of survival, of that, mentality of I just got to handle, I just got to push through. And what happens, like, what do you get missed? How much humanity gets disregarded? When you're present, when you're like fully present, like you take in it all. Like, I even think about when I'm walking by a brother and I see him saying something to somebody else, and I'm like, my mind may make the assumption he's going to ask me for money, right? And I walk by and I'll already be tunneled in on how I'm going to like not, he's just going to ask me for money and I don't got it right now. And I'll never forget, I slowed down and I did that. I walked by, the brother was just like, yo, I was like, I ain't got it. He didn't even finish his sentence. I was like, I ain't got it. I ain't got nothing. And then he was just like, I ain't asked you that. I asked you for the money. And I was like, what you wanted? He was like, I'm thirsty, man. I just wanted if you could get a drink or something for me. And I was like, I got you. I'm going to go in the store. I got you. What you want? He was like, a ginger ale. So, all right, cool. And when I got the ginger ale, I felt out of integrity with that brother. And I was just like, hey, man, can I apologize to you, man? I rushed through. Like, I rushed that conversation. I assumed that you just wanted something that I didn't have. And I actually did. I was able to do that. I just want to apologize for disregarding you. He was just like, it's all good. And for me, it's not good. I don't want to walk in that way. I'm always thinking about like, how can what's the power of just, if you really valued each person, like if you really felt the connection to each life. To me, man, we couldn't do the stuff that we're doing out in the world. There couldn't be children without water all across the world. There couldn't be wars in this way that we disregard humanity. If we like really felt connected. Mitako Yeo Yasin. We're all related.
My relatives.
Ubuntu.
Sure.
I am because you are. Like, all of this is our ancestors' words. They've been saying the same message. Y'all remember I made this hat and I put war and I put we're all related because I wanted people to just kind of see this craziness. Like, whoa, why you got a hat that say war? But now I want them to see we're all related. because that's the remedy to that. So I think this society right now in the world, we're impacted by the pain of disconnection. Yeah.
Yo, Yo, give it up for our brother here, man. Brother Javon, aka Sacred Disciple, man. We got a few minutes left, man. Episode 700. Yo, 700 episodes is like phenomenal, right? It's 700 days, like, of consistency, of showing up when I was hurting physically, emotionally, of showing up when I would rather stay in bed, would rather sleep, right? 700 days of pushing past my own limitations, right? 700 days of remembering my commitment to myself and my obligation to serve, right? Kimona checks in every day, but even more than her, who's not here today, our brother Frank Brown. Frank Brown said this is his morning routine. And so, like, even when I mentioned that I was canceling the show, he was hurt by it. And I felt that he was hurt, and I was like, damn, should I keep going? But I had to honor myself, right? Like, honoring him and recognizing what the show means to him every morning, but also recognizing where I'm at. And I want to close this chapter, right? We did it, 700 episodes, right? Like, I remember when I was preparing for episode 300, my boy was like, yo, we stop at 15. Me and my friends did 22 episodes, and we stopped. It was too much. And I was going on 300. That's a year and a half ago. We kept going. And I'm alive, right? I'm alive. I got community. I got technology. I could keep going. But to me, it's something special, right? My brother asked me the other day, why are you going to stop? Why? I was like, what better time to stop than when you're on top, right? Then when I feel good and I feel confident, I can wake up and nothing is forcing me to stop. I'm not bedridden, right? I don't got a freaking laryngitis or something crazy happening, right? Like I'm not poor where I got no technology and I can't do it. I can do it. But to me, that's something powerful. You know what? I could keep going, but I'm going to stop while I'm on top. And we're going to do something different. And so for those who don't know, I'm actually going to pitch the Sugar Ray Show, which is going to be the next talk show, which is my first talk show that I ever created back in 2010 on Blog Talk Radio. We're going to talk to Channel 11, right? And that's the goal, to get on national TV, right? So you can see my beautiful face, right? All over the world, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But I didn't always think I had a beautiful face. I didn't always think I was handsome. And so now it's like, you know, they say you grow into it. It's always there. I just more beautiful now, right? But listen, guys, I appreciate you, man. Thank you all for the support, right? These last 3 years, Eddie Kruger has been here every episode, man. In person, he was a guest on the 100th episode. He spit some freestyle. He kicked it. Echoes of Incarceration has always been here. Ray has always been here. We did the 200th episode in Kimona School, right? And she was still teaching. Ray was a guest. My mama is here. My brother Marty Dolan is here. You know what I mean? My brother Omar is here. Miss Jackie is here, man. My family, my brother Mark Marone and Jesse Jones. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And I want to leave you with this, right? Like, please remember that it is never too late to begin what you've always wanted to do. And you are never too far removed from who you've always been. So if you say that you've always been an artist, or you've always been an entrepreneur, or you've always been a thinker, or you've always been whoever you've always been, regardless to how far your life has taken you, out of that, you are not too far from that, because that person is always in you, right? We do not outgrow who we always are. We can cover it up. We can suppress our innate ability, our innate talents, our innate gifts, but they're still there. And so if you got anything that you want to do, the perfect time is now. With all of the challenges going on, with all of the shortcomings that you may perceive that you have, the lack of funds or the lack of support or the instability in relationships or housing or income or whatever it is, it's still a perfect time to start. Take one step forward. That's the way to get up the mountain. Say the journey of 10,000 steps begins with one. The journey of the highest mountain begins with one. If we say we want to drive from New York to California, you got to get in the car first. You got to get in the car first, baby. So know that your car is your body, your car is your mind. You are already in the car. You are in the driver's seat. So please, the best thing that you could do for me is really the best thing that you could do for yourself is to live your dreams, right? Go accomplish every goal that you set for yourself. And know that when God or life redirects you, it's not saying stop. It's taking you in a different direction. And sometimes the scenic route is the best route. When you drive, you want to see all of the things. You know what I mean? So listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. We got some sparkling cider over there. We got some food over there. We're going to celebrate. We're going to put some music on for a little bit. And we got, about another hour, man. We can sit and we can chill. We can talk and fellowship, take some photos. Echoes of Incarceration going to be here. Probably grab some of you guys for a quick interview. And thank you guys, man. 700 is a wrap. I love you guys, man. Appreciate you. Yo, we out. Peace.